There's something glamorous about some big ocean liners. They look sleek and luxurious and can imply prosperity. The newly elected mayor of the Gold Coast has caught sight of what he believes is a great economic opportunity, a cruise ship terminal that will make sure some of that cruise ship cash stops in his home port. But would it really be lucrative? And could the tricky task of turning an ocean estuary into a harbour outweigh the benefits? Karen Berkman looked into it.
It's almost exactly 6 years since the previous state government canned the idea of a cruise ship terminal for the Gold Coast after a spirited public campaign that saw numerous rallies on the Southport Spit and 38,000 signatures on a petition presented to Parliament. But now the debate is back. The pros and cons remain pretty much the same. All that's changed is the size of the ships.
We're going for the mega cruise. I mean, if you're going to build it, the new cruise liner are 300 metres long and plus. And I know Brisbane is limited and can't handle that size. So let's cater for the ones that Brisbane can't cater for.
The Gold Coast's new mayor believes the mega ships will bring the mega bucks. The community action groups opposing the concept see mega problems.
We know that since 2006, cruise vessels have grown hugely in size and will continue to grow. So it's even less likely that after massive dredging and infrastructure, extensions to seaway walls, that you would get any of those cruise ships safely docking in the Gold Coast.
Modern cruise ships need 1.9 times their length to turn, 500 metres and more. They draw at least 15 metres, way beyond the current capacity of the Gold Coast Seaway and Broadwater, where large yachts have been known to run aground.
The suggestion that they could build it there and cater for the mega cruise ships is ridiculous, because even the smaller ships of 2006 couldn't fit in there.
But the mayor is determined to get the Gold Coast a slice of what he believes is a big juicy pie.
When you look at the cruise ship industry, last year it grew 34%. And we're right here in the ocean, near the ocean. Every day we're watching that economy and dollars floating by, sailing by us, and we want to add that to our infrastructure and broaden our economy in the Gold Coast.
Just back from a privately funded fact-finding tour of the US, including Miami, Florida, Mayor Tom Tate already has 5 proposals on the drawing board. His favourite is on Crown land, well inside the Broadwater, near SeaWorld.
What I like about that one is that it doesn't have any seagrass, environmentally very low impact, and cost-wise, it's one of the cheaper ones, about $40 million build.
The mayor admits he hasn't yet had discussions with the cruise ship companies who'll make the decisions about whether and how often to come to the Gold Coast.
Not in specific terms. Let me ask you this way. I ask in general terms, if I build it, will you come? And the answer is yes.
The answer was no to Houston, Texas, where a $106 million terminal has not had a single ship visit yet.
And this is my first chance to see the 96,000 square foot Bayport Cruise Terminal. You know, the one that opened 2.5 years ago.
I'm a VIP. Wonder where that ship is.
No one would talk to us from the world's biggest cruise conglomerate, Carnival, to say whether the Gold Coast would be a good port of call, or to explain their business model where the host city builds and runs the terminal and the cruise lines decide when and if they'll use it. But the Gold Coast mayor is convinced it'll be a great money spinner here.
What I'm saying to you, it's a broad base. It could be $20 million up to $60 million.
Or it could be a lot less.
It's sort of been accepted that it would be a big benefit when no one's done the numbers.
Bill Morris is the author of the Midwood Report, a long-standing economic analysis of tourism and real estate on the Gold Coast. He says US figures show passengers spend, on average, $75 a day on port visits.
These people are generally retired. They don't spend a lot of money. They've already spent quite a bit to go on their cruise. They might buy souvenirs, they might take a taxi ride or a bus trip. That's not big spending. So it's 2,000 passengers and 1,000 crew. So it's $500,000 spend per stopover. So if you have 10 ships a year, that's $5 million.
But the mayor is counting on 2 ships a week, 100 a year, taking business from Brisbane. He wants developers to build the cruise terminal on state government land and hand it over to the city. And he'll be trying for funding from Canberra too.
With their funds in Infrastructure Australia, I think they've got $3 billion there, and this will make sense for them to help create a cruise ship terminal on the Gold Coast and to make us a global city.
But not all the cost will be in dollars. There's the inevitable environmental damage the massive dredging would cause, to the detriment of other well-established industries like boating, surfing and diving.
I can't believe that they're revisiting it. Even after 2005, I think they decided that it wasn't economically viable. They still haven't done an environmental impact study.
This is the most popular dive spot in southeast Queensland, a $30 million industry. Any day at the Gold Coast Seaway, you'll see surfers paddling across to a unique break on South Stradbroke Island.
The reason it's so good is the way the sand sits out at the end. The swell bends when it hits it, so it makes that place unique.
In 2008, Neil Lasro at the Griffith University Centre for Coastal Studies found surfing was worth up to $230 million a year to the Gold Coast, and that South Stradbroke alone contributed 14.5% of that.
I think from what I understand of Neil's work, the original assessments in terms of the benefits associated with the cruise ship terminal were in the order of $6 to $7 million a year, whereas Neil's found that $20 million worth each year of value is attributable to South Stradbroke Island. So I think there's a significant difference there.
The Mayor doesn't know of the study, but disputes its findings.
Well, I haven't seen the $20 million claim that that's what the break bring in. I thought surfing in that section was free.
It is, but surfers spend money on food, alcohol, and sometimes clothes or accommodation. And many drive down from Brisbane to surf South Straddy.
It's a bit of a swell magnet, so when lots of other places on the coast aren't working, it's usually pretty reliable. And the main thing is too, I guess, it's just the first place to surf from Brizzy.
I welcome them to come, and I just want to point out to the surfers there's 65 kilometres of beach here on the Gold Coast, and take a pic.
That's more or less the Mayor's message to the 450 species of marine life that have taken up residence in the Gold Coast Seaway, carved through the spit in 1986.
But we also should remember and point out that the whole spit of it is man-made. It's not like it's an environment that was nature-made. It was man-made years ago. And the other option is Wave Break Island. That's also man-made. So all this bit that, where's the birds gonna land? Well, if it wasn't for man, the birds wouldn't be there. So I'll take it with a grain of salt.
The Mayor is wrong about the whole spit being man-made. It's existed for centuries, but it was altered in the 80s to provide a safe ocean entrance for boats. Wavebreak Island was created then as a barrier for storm surges from the ocean. And it's the site chosen by a Singaporean developer for a $4.9 billion complex of casinos, hotels, home units and a cruise ship terminal.
We know in the end this is a way for private entrepreneurs to get access to Crown land, public parkland for private commercial use. It's a land grab again.